All right, fam. So this is an important conversation. This brother was hitting me up with these videos of these quote unquote black nationalists talking about, man, look, what we got to do is we got to figure a way to get rid of this white man. Okay, that's fine. I understand that, man. But like, you talking out of your ass. Okay, they talking out of their ass, and somebody has to tell young folk that that shit's not even viable. And this brother's telling me, man, look, man, you gotta understand, man, the world is, it's white supremacy, and it's like, okay, look, I hear you, I hear what you're saying, but you really gotta peep game about how the world is formatted. And this is what I want to teach young people, because once you know how the world is, then you can start navigating the world properly. All right. Right now, we're not navigating the world properly. If you talking about how you gonna get rid of this white man while you in white America, you kind of tripping. You kind of tripping balls. And I think one of the best reality checks for you right now is for you to go to the naval yard, because white man lets you go to his naval yard. You go to the naval yard and you look at how big them ships are. Okay, I call those warships. You go look at his warships, and you come tell me, what do you have in your arsenal to take out even one of their warships? Okay, if you could take out even one of their warships with your arsenal, maybe we can start talking. But if you ain't got nothing in your whole arsenal to take out even one warship, then just shut the front door. Okay, because that strategy you talking is just fantasy island. You puffing, and you sitting around, the fire, smoking and talking shit. So what I'm gonna tell y'all is that, this white supremacy stuff, really take that out of your vocabulary, right? You gotta understand that this world is run by elites. Okay, there's two types of people. There's elites and there's commoners. Right now you see me walking around in Buckwater or whatever. That's me walking around with the commoners. Okay, the commoners don't run shit. So if you here, you're doing your little podcast, or you're doing your little your little conversations, your little whatever, and the only people you speaking with are the commoners, that's cool, that's fine. But you're not, like I said, you get 1,000 commoners together, right? And no elites, 1,000 commoners, right? And you tell them, hey man, take out this warship over here, right? And they all scratching their head and scratching their ass. You gotta understand why. Okay, you gotta understand why. Because that's just common sense. So I'm trying to spit some game to you. I'm trying to spit it real quick. So again, the world's run by elites. So you're either a commoner or an elite. Okay? Chances are you're a commoner. Okay? Now, if you're an elite, now of course there's grades to being a commoner. There's the commoner who's aspiring to be more than a commoner. Okay? So I call him the aspirant. Okay? And like I said, I'm a video game developer, partly, right? So I'm trying to put this kind of stuff inside of my video games. So y'all check that out. You could hit up the Cash App if you want to support the development. Although I can't promise the development because I'm doing it at one man and this junk's hard. All right. But what I'm saying is this: you gotta look at it like this. You're a common. I mean, the commoner, aspirants, whatever. If somebody's aspiring to be an elite, that's a different question. But when you're talking about what white supremacy is, what white supremacy is basically white folk have elites, black folk have elites, and Asian folk got elites. And what elites do is, and basically how everybody navigates this world is that we interact with or engage with the elites in some form or another. All right, because who brings the water to your door? Now I wanna clarify what this interaction means. Right, there's three types of interactions. Right, there's so I'm thinking my video game, I'm gonna be like harmful, helpful, neutral. Or some people say beneficial, detrimental, neutral, right? Another way to look at it too is you look at it like harmful, helpful, neutral. You look at it like you could also look at it like, how can I say? What was another way? Oh yeah, complacent, cooperative, competitive. Okay. So you could be cooperative with the elites, you could be competitive with the elites, or you could be complacent or careless of the elites. But whatever position you take, that's up to you. Now, here's the thing about how you really operate with elites, right? So when we talk about white supremacy, in fact, we're talking about, black elites might be cooperating with white elites, or black elites might be cooperating with Asian elites, right? Mahaba, right? Now, you're saying all that, and you're doing all that. Some honey? All right. So what I'm saying is this: you're either cooperating or competitive, right? Now, I want you to understand what I'm saying to you here, right? You're either cooperative or competitive, but going forward, going more so, I want y'all to peep that black elites might be cooperating with white elites. Now, you gotta ask yourself, why? Why are they cooperating with foreigners? Okay? And the reason why is this word called capacity, capability. And that's what you really have to focus on. Not this whole, how am I going to be able to take out 300 million white folk or 1 billion white folk across the planet. That's not realistic. You don't have the capacity. You don't have the capability. Get that over your head. You're not going to have the capacity or the capability until you start working on yourself and building yourself to have capacity and capability, which you're not doing. Okay? You're not doing it. And that's really the fundamental problem at play. You are not working on your capacity and capabilities, whereas other people are doing that, and they understand there's no this man runs the planet. There's no such thing. What runs the planet, technology is a great equalizer. Okay? That's why they call the firearm the peacemaker, right? Or the equalizer sometimes. Right? Technology is the great equalizer. All right? And of course, not necessarily just technology. When I write inside of Wangalifu, I write about technology, strategy, and organization. So organizing, technologizing, strategizing, those are the benchmarks. That's the foundation for strength, for power. But what I'm telling you is that these white boys are doing their technology while you talking about their technology and saying, hey man, look, our elites are cooperating with them. Yeah, of course they're cooperating with them and not you. Why would they cooperate with you? You ain't got no capacity. You ain't got no capabilities. You can't do nothing. If I lock you in a room for 50 years and tell you to build a spaceship, you just gonna starve. You understand? You're not even gonna get the thrusters right. You don't even know how to make an engine. Okay? You don't even know how to make an engine. Right? Let alone talk about space travel. So, but then of course, if the elites come together and say, hey, look, I want to build a spaceship, and they ask their own people, the white elites ask their own people, they say, okay, when do you want to buy? You know? If they're talking about a semi-conscious computer system, right? Or a fully conscious computer system, they say, okay, when do you want to buy? You know? You want to buy 2027 or you want to buy 2028? That's the difference. And when people are cooperating with people who have capacity, people judge people by people having capacity, and that's how people look at each other. You know, I mean, I ain't show y'all, sister looking at me just now, but sometimes a woman's looking at you as a man, and she's looking at you and she's saying, this guy has capability, this guy has capacity. Okay, this guy can do stuff. And so you as an individual, right? Because there's two types of capacities that you need to work on, which is your personal capacity and your racial capacity. But you as an individual have to work on your personal capacity as well as your racial capacity. But you as an individual have to say, look, you have to present yourself on this planet as somebody capable. That's what the whole resume process, that's the whole job application thing's about. You telling the world, hey, look, I'm capable. You apply to a job, you apply to a business, and tell them, hey, look, I'm capable. I have capacity. And so that's really what the message that I'm trying to tell y'all is that don't look at this world like, hey man, I got to figure out a way to destroy this white. You don't have the capability. You don't have the capacity. Don't come to me with that talk. Because you're going to waste your time and you're going to waste my time. Talk about, man, look, let's get together. Let's get some brothers together. And we're going to take over. Take over what? You don't even run your own, like if you in America, you don't even run your own neighborhood, man. How you going to take over another man's nation? That don't make no damn sense. See, these white boys, they take over other people's nations because they have nations. They run nations, right? This is what they was doing. The way how they colonized Africa was they was running their own nations, right? They wasn't the underclass in Africa talking about, not doing nothing, just sitting on their hands talking about they're gonna take over. And you gotta remember, like, go back to Africa, right? You go back to Africa and you say, go back in history and think about Africa and say to yourself, look, when the white man came to colonize, he took over the national structure, the infrastructure, the nation, the elites, okay? But I want you to peep this, man. There were already people who was down on their luck, who was thinking, I got to take over the nation too, right? We don't hear about them because unless you have the capacity, unless you have the capability, you just got to shut the front door. The white boy came with capability, came with capacity to take over nations because he built his own guns, he built his own weaponry. He ain't worried about how strong the black man was. He worried about how strong he was. And that's how the Chinese are able to stand up. That's how the Japanese were able to stand up, because they worried about how strong they were. And that's what you have to do as a people, how you do as a person. Have to worry about how strong you are, see this thing right here? This is my weighted vest. I started wearing this. I just started wearing it today. I need to make it fit a little better. But, it's really about that. You just got to work on strengthening yourself. Okay? Don't tell me how strong this white boy is. I know why. The reason why he's strong is because he worked on strengthening himself. Okay? And of course, weakening you. But he's supposed to. That's the other lesson that you have to know as a man or as an individual, that, the way you get strong is you get other people weak too. Okay? And if you don't believe me, that's fine for you. If you think, we're stronger together, don't believe that shit. Now, I'm not saying that, within your race, you don't have to be stronger together, but, you got to look at the world from a global or a planetary scale. Okay? The reason why capitalism won against Marxism is because they made sure to kill the Marxists. Is that it? You know what I'm saying? But the reason why Stalinism won against the capitalists or the royalists in Russia is because the Stalinists made sure to kill them. The reason why Maoism won in China is because the Maoists remembered to do the Cultural Revolution. You understand? If you want to be strong, you also gotta kill whatever threats you have. But listen to me. You have to have the capability, the capacity. Okay? And again, and this is something I really shouldn't put this in here, because this is for the brothers. The sisters don't gotta hear this. But here's the thing I want to tell y'all, brothers. It's like this too. You just talk about, I want a strong woman, a strong black woman, man. Look here. If somebody tell you they want a strong black woman, you say, look, man, a lot of queers do. You know what I'm saying? But look, what I'm going to tell you is this. It's not about having if you really, the kind of woman that you want, and there's no disrespect to my wife, right? But the kind of woman you want is a woman who's weaker than you. Okay? You hear me? You want you don't go into a house and say, look, I want to be the strongest person in the house, because you demand that the woman becomes weaker than you so she can be stronger, so that you can be stronger than her. No, you find a woman who's already weaker than you, and then you the strongest. That's the reason why you run your house as a man, not because men are better than women, or men are stronger than women, or men are superior to women. That's not the case. The reason why you run your house is because you find a woman that's not stronger than you. You understand? And if you're going around and see the white man, he gives you a bunch of strong women, and that's fine. But that's not gonna get you a happy house. Of course, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have put that in here. But it is what it is. My main thing for you though is you gotta understand when we talk about who's running the world. Who run the world, right? It's not girls, obviously, right? Who run the world? Elites. And then you also have to figure out how you're going to cooperate with them and why. And then what's the purpose behind it? Because of capacity, capability. If a man wants 4,500 assault rifles, he's not coming to you because you don't have the capability. You don't have the capacity to equip him with 4,500 assault rifles by next month. But if he goes and he knocks on America's door or Russia's door or China's door, he might get it before the deadline. And that's the difference between you and them. So you have to ask yourself, well, how can I be a capable human being, a capable African, a capable individual, capable elite on this planet? And of course, like I said, the guidebook, the guidelines are written in the Angalifu. So if you like what I was just spitting with you, if you like this conversation, you obviously like, subscribe, share, whatever. But also, go get yourself a copy of Angalifu. Okay, the link is in the description. Check it out. It's just a book about how you could be an aspirant, how you could be an elite, how you could be the best that you can be. And when you're the best that you can be, that's when we start to talk some serious stuff. But if you coming to me, not being the best you can be, like I said, the brother, the video he sent me, I don't want to drop no names, I don't want to say no hints. Maybe I might dissect it another time. But the brother was telling me, oh man, I also go to my job because I can't find a living talking this shit. So you go to your job working for this white man, he's like, yeah, but I fight the white man on my job. What the fuck are you talking about, man? If you working for somebody, you enriching them. They paying you because you making them money. You are the animal in captivity. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk to animals in captivity. Now, and that's what I want to point out to you too, right here. This is important. I know this video is going on long, but when I come to Africa, right? This has been the most amount of times that I've been really serious about starting businesses, opening businesses, running businesses, paying for businesses, and so on and so forth. This has been the most serious I've been in my life when I came to this continent. And I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I can tell you that when I was in America, I wasn't worried about opening no businesses. Okay? I mean, a part of it was I didn't think I could afford it, true, but also I had no ideas that I wanted to implement. I felt like there was no needs that I needed to fulfill. It was like there was no capacity for me to live into, right? And I'm not saying that you can't do that. I mean, there's a lot of people who, grind and hustle and they make it good inside of America. And I advise that if you could do that, you should do that. But what I'm telling you is that a lot of people, or what I'm telling you is that this is a country where you can get into your adulthood instead of your childhood. If you're living your childhood in America where this white man is feeding you, clothing you, giving you water, giving you shelter, and then you there complaining about him, oh man, the water is not, the road isn't fixed. All that shit. If you there doing that, then get your black ass up and go where you could be a man. Okay? Go where you could be a woman. Otherwise, shut the front door. Shut the front door. So that's what I wanted to emphasize to you. I know the video went on a little long, but like I said, like, subscribe, share, and if you like this, go get a copy of Wanga Leafu. If you know a young brother, a young sister who's really trying to be serious about Africa and really on that stuff, but they don't know what time it is. They don't know what time it is. They don't know about self-development. They don't know about getting themselves better. Then they still single. They ain't got no woman. They ain't got no family. They ain't got no money. They ain't got no. They just trying to. Oh, I'm gonna take over there. I'm gonna take over 300 million people. Like, you out of your damn mind, man. If you see a black person out of their damn mind, just get in the book, all right? All right then. Shememo tap Uncle Johnson Neb. I'm in my eye. Do our nature.